of Supervisors, also sitting as all. Also sitting as all special,
I think the control room's screwing with you.
August 3rd, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. Um, Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Supervisor Lyons, can you please lead us?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we'll go ahead and move on to discussion and action items. Item number one, and it'll be a presentation by George Shook, Acting Chairman of the Arizona State Board of Equalization, and Jolene Christopherson. Are they online? Or?
Yes, Jolene's on the line. She asked me to share the screen. Jolene, can you hear us?
Those are on mute.
Jolene, you're on mute. Give me a second, yes, you're on mute.
Morning, Craig. Hi, Judy.
The same problem I had when I called
Yeah.
a couple of meetings ago.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, mine just transfers over, so I'm like, yes.
Hey Desiree, we're having issues. Jolene's having issues with her computer. I have her on the phone. Is there another way that we can hear her and vice versa?
We are trying to call her right now
I was gonna ask if you.
on her number
Okay,
that's
good.
listed.
Jolene, they're gonna call you right now, so let me get off the phone.
I don't know. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I think so too.
You see if I got something else going on that night.
I do not.
Morning, Tom.
Hey, guys.
We can recognize everybody here by name. Just go around and
Sorry,
introduce ourselves.
Jolene Christofferson is not available. Record your message at the tone. When
Oh, dear. Do you want some gum?
Desiree, I have another phone number for her also if needed.
Please.
Please send that to me.
I went to my office at 3:30.
Oh, I don't know. How do I do that? Just email it to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
That's 4. Yeah.
Oh. Up at 4.
I just,
Help yourself.
Thank
Or
you.
keep 'em.
I was just
More.
trying to get a bunch of stuff done today.
Okay.
I got water meetings tomorrow.
Uh-huh. So that you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yep.
Oh.
I got Friday morning. Arthur.
The tooth part is loose, so. Oh, thank you.
Hello?
Good morning, Jolene.
Desiree, I just sent you another number for Jolene. She has a speaker on another. I just sent you an email with another number for her. If you wouldn't mind calling that one, please.
Okay, we'll call the other number. Mhm. 602. 716-7167.
This is Jolene.
Good morning, Jolene.
Good
We have-
morning. How are you?
We are good. We have your presentation up and ready.
Thank you so much. I apologize. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll start from the first slide. First of all, I want to apologize to everyone. The first test worked, but of course, technology creates a problem as we go through. But to start with, on the first slide, my name's Jolene Christofferson. I'm the Deputy Assistant Director with the Arizona Department of Revenue. I have George Shook. He's the acting chairman for the State Board of Equalization. I'll go ahead and start the presentation and talk about just the valuation of properties in Yuma County and county properties throughout the state within each county. And then George will pick up after my presentation to talk about the appeals process. So first of all, we want to start with, if you could go to slide 2, Desiree.
And Jolene and George, this is Chairman Porches. We have a meeting that starts at, our regular board meeting starts at 9, so we only have about 17 minutes. So just to let you know.
All right, we'll move through quickly. Thank you very much, and again, I apologize. So Desiree, can you move to the second slide?
I believe Frank is controlling your slide.
Okay, sorry.
I can stop sharing, but she asked me to share. She was having issues with her computer. Is she on the, is she available? I can't hear her.
I am talking, Frank. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am. I think the problem is Frank Young cannot hear and so cannot advance the slides accordingly.
All right.
Desiree, can I stop sharing and you share your slide?
Maybe we could follow along with what I have in front of me. Will that work, Frank?
Yes, ma'am. I think if you proceed, we'll catch up on our end with the slides. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So where we want to start with the assessor's responsibilities, they have 2 core responsibilities, and that is to identify and value property. That's so that they could ensure that all property subject to taxation is valued fairly and equitably. And they need to do that so that they can ensure uniform taxes upon all the same class of property. So it's important to know that the department plays a role in the appraisal process, in part because we certify appraisers. There's 3 levels of certification. It's the basic level, level 1, level 2, and level 3. I've shown on the slides that there are statutes that identify the certification process. In short, the appraiser is not able or cannot perform the duties of the appraisal for the county unless they go through our classes. The department has to be sure that the appraiser can perform the functions before they actually do the work of the assessor as a certified appraiser. Moving on to the next slide about appraiser certification. Once a person has achieved their first class, which is VALCON, that's the initial introduction to property tax, that's measuring and getting exposure to property tax statutes, they will take they'll take that experience for 12 months, go through the level 1 classes, pass them, and they will be certified as a level 1 appraiser. There are limited authorities for what that appraiser certification will allow for, which is to pick up the property, assign a classification, and apply a value to it. That typically happens, of course, through the county's CAMA system. Then there's a level 2 certification. Once the appraiser has been certified as level 1 and has 18 months of experience, then they are certified as a level 2 appraiser, and they have more authority, which in part is to take these appeals to the Board of Equalization. They take the appeals to the Board of Equalization and defend the values at at that level of the appeal process. We have a level 3, our highest level. It includes a designation from our industry leader, the International Association of Assessing Officers, and 36 months of experience for that advanced certification. We want to cover real quick the statutory definitions, full cash value. Unless there is a statutorily driven methodology, full cash value is calculated based on standard appraisal methodology and technique. So you have the full cash value, you have the limited property value, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the limited property value as we go through the slides. We'll touch on full cash, though, as the next slide approaches to value. We have standard appraisal practice is cost, income, and sales comparison. Again, those are standard industry appraisal practices. Equity is not an approach to value. Equity is the effort to treat properties similarly to one another. Limited property value on the next slide, there's two things to note. Number one, it's statutorily driven. So there's no change or derivation from the statute. According to statute, if there is no change from the property from 1 year to the next, it's simply a 5% increase. If there is a change to the property from 1 year to the next, then it's a different formula. It's what we call Rule B. That formula is whatever the limited property value percentage is to the full cash value percentage is in the entire county for that particular class or use, that same percentage is applied to the property the current year based on its change in use. So if I change the value if I added a garage prior year to this year, my new limited property value is calculated based on that percentage or that relationship between the limited property value and full cash value of other properties in the county that are of like use or classification. And that's all that I have. It was a quick review. Now I'm going to let Chairman George Shook take over for the appeals process.
Good morning. I'll very quickly walk through the appeals process. The statute that governs the appeal process is 101 sets up for the property owner can assign a tax agent to represent the property owner. However, all property owners in the state of Arizona are allowed to challenge the value that's placed on their property by the county assessor, and that's given through the Constitution. One of the things that you guys, when I say you guys, I apologize for that euphemism, the County Board of Equalization is allowed to handle appeals that come from the county assessor to the property owner. The property owner decides if they disagree with the county assessor, then that appeal is to the county assessor. The county assessor issues a decision. Once that decision is issued by the county assessor, then the taxpayer can appeal to the County Board of Equalization. County Board of Equalization has power to change that value, but the value has to be structured according to the statute. In the state of Arizona, values are set based on the current use of the property. As Ms. Christopherson has pointed out in regards to the standard approaches to value, your typical appraisal on a property would be highest and best use, but in Arizona, it's on current use. Current use in Arizona is promulgated by the statute, and what happens on that is the county assessor must make sure there's uniformity within the class of properties. Thereby, a lot of the processes for the appeal is going to be centered around the values of other properties similarly situated. One of the things that you will be confronted with as the Board of Equalization is property owners wanting to change the valuation or the classification of their property. The County Board of Equalization is limited to what the statute allows them to do, and that is to change a value or change a classification based on the evidence presented in the hearing. And that decision that's rendered by the County Board of Equalization is strictly on the evidence presented at the hearing. The burden of proof is on the property owner. The property owner has to prove that the county assessor's records are incorrect. They do that by bringing in comparable properties under the market approach. That's called the market comparison approach. And the taxpayer can also use the cost approach by bringing in information, which would be the data analysis that would take to show how the property was valued using the cost approach with the construction costs and all the other items that are associated with that. In that regard, a analysis of the cost approach needs to be presented by the property owner. Under the income approach, the property owner is allowed to present evidence of other properties similarly valued using the income approach. We call that pro forma for the most part for the market. However, the state of Arizona requires the property owner to use a DOR Form 300 to do the income analysis for the property. So without the income analysis presented to the Board of Equalization, it's pretty difficult to make a decision just on testimony without having some physical evidence as to how that income of the valuation was derived by the property owner. Under the process where the value can be changed, of course, the county board must also take into consideration of properties similarly situated. In other words, uniformity within the class of properties in that regard. There are several different types of appeals on those appeals, and I'll go through those real quickly for you there. You're looking at a standard appeal, which we call it the 82-130 type appeals. Those are the normal valuation and classification. The county assessor has to send out a notice of value on classification on or before March the 1st. Taxpayer disagrees with the county assessor. The taxpayer can appeal to the county assessor within 60 days. The county assessor has to decide all those types of appeals before the 25th of August. The taxpayer will have, I say 25th of August, I meant to say that. Yeah. And so what has to happen on that one there is the 15th day of August. And those decisions, if the taxpayer and the county assessor disagree, then they appeal to the Board of Equalization. The taxpayer has 25 days in which to appeal to the Board of Equalization. Can't get around that. The appeals deadline is strict in that regard. And we call those the normal valuation appeals. Another type of appeal is called a notice of change, and that'll occur at a different time in the year, and that's where the property has had a change in the physical change in the property from October 1st to the valuation year, which is the previous year, up to September 30th of the tax year. And I won't, if you need to answer the question as to what's the difference between the valuation year and a tax year, I'll be glad to explain that if we have time. But those are called notice of change. Those notice of change are mailed to the taxpayer on or before the 30th of September. The taxpayer has 25 days to file with the Board of Equalization. Board of Equalization has to hear those appeals and make a decision on or before the third Friday in November. The other type of appeal is called the correction appeals. Those are notice of claims and notice of proposed correction. A notice of proposed correction is filed by the county assessor where the county assessor is attempting to get their records correct. That comes from discovery or maybe new construction, and the county assessor can pick that up at any time. Notice of claim can be filed by the property owner where the property owner discovers that the county assessor's records are incorrect. The notice of claim can be filed by the taxpayer at any time during the year. There's limitation on that because the taxpayer can file for the current year and the 3 previous years in regards to the notice of claim. The County Board of Equalization makes decisions on that, again, based on the standard appraisal practices and, of course, consideration of values similarly situated. There's also a personal inquiry. Let me back up here. On your correction statutes, it's 4216-252 and 4216-254. Those can be filed at any time during the year. The County Board of Equalization has the duty to hear those within 30 days after that appeal is filed with the County Board of Equalization. Those can be heard at any time during the year, but again, the limitation is the County Board of Equalization has to conduct those hearings within 30 days after they receive it. Personal property, that's anything you can pick up and move and carry off either in the back of in your hands or in the back of a truck. It's called personal property. Those appeals are filed with the county assessor, and of course the county board can hear those before December 1st of the evaluation year. And the evaluation year for personal property is the current tax year, not the tax year that's ensuing. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take some questions at this time.
Any questions from the board? So, I have a question on the LPV, the percentages, is it who, the county sets that, the 5%?
Statutorily driven, 5% if there's no change from the prior year to the current year.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
One of the things in regards to the appeals process is that because the County Board of Equalization has a myriad of duties and responsibilities, the County Board of Equalization can hire a hearing officer. If the County Board hires a hearing officer, that hearing officer needs to be trained by the State Board of Equalization. Decisions issued by the hearing officer are the hearing officer's opinion, and that's presented to the County Board of Equalization for ratification. In other words, you can either change the hearing officer's decision or you can ratify the hearing officer's decision. In changing the decision, it's limited to, again, evidence that was presented at the hearing. You cannot arbitrarily set your own values. In regards to limited property values is not really an appealable item. Now, the methodology of applying the limited property value can be appealed, and that's what Ms. Christopherson pointed out, whether it was Rule A or Rule B, if that type of consideration was given. But for a person to want to just appeal their limited property value because they think it's too high, that's not allowed in the statutes. Once the decision is made by the hearing officer, that has to be presented to the Board of Equalization. The Board of Equalization has to meet and decide if they're going to ratify or the decision or make a change. If the board decides to make a change or to ratify, the board has to reach a decision and then, of course, have to mail that out within 10 days after that ratification meeting. So, and I think that kind of covers everything in a nutshell.
Definitely a nutshell.
Any questions from the board? No? Well, George and Jolene, thank you very much for the presentation. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But good presentation, good information. Thank you.
Yeah, our apologies as well. Again, thank you for the opportunity to share some information with you and the board.
Thank you.
We did it in 19 minutes. We had 17, we did it in 19.
We'll go ahead and reconvene to the regular Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting.
Chairman, you can adjourn the work session.
Okay, well, is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, well, I'll just adjourn the work session and